Hi.
This is Melissa.
And this is Kat.
Kat is no longer allowed to pick movies. I've said it before, but this time I mean it. She is forbidden. I am picking every movie for the rest of this podcast's existence because what the actual fuck was this?
I'm so sorry. I really am truly very sorry.
Yeah.
This is, I'm going to do like one of those like YouTube apology videos where it's just me sitting there with a weird background just crying.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Also, we never sang the Green Acres theme at the end of the last episode. We're going to do it at the end of this episode, though.
If we remember. Yeah.
I'm winking at Kat.
We'll see.
We're just going to keep saying it at the top of every episode. Yeah, we're going to sing the Green Acres intro.
And then one day randomly we'll do it.
Yeah, I also said I would post our
list.
I
thought about that.
But you know what I thought about? We are like 2 episodes away from our 3rd year anniversary episode. So I'm like, well, we'll just wait till then.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think it makes more sense.
I was like, oh, I'll do it for our first movie of the year. And then I thought about it and I was like, we'll just post it for our 3rd year anniversary. That's enough.
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Sounds good.
Yay.
Let's get to this fucking, no words.
Yeah.
No words.
I'm sorry.
Tragical.
So this time,
We're here to tell you why.
blank check.
It's tragical.
I literally wanted to turn this movie off and not finish it. I didn't care how it ended. I didn't want to see. I literally was like, can we not watch this anymore?
Yeah, there was, I think, like 41 minutes left. And Melissa looks at me and goes, I don't want to finish this.
I think it was the fountain scene.
I think so.
I was like, I truly don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah. Well, do you want some fun facts?
Not really.
Great, because there weren't any.
Really?
There was 13
Okay.
facts. And none of them were fun. Every single fact on the Internet Movie Database was this actor and this actor worked on this movie together. This actor was in this movie with Jim Carrey, and then that actor was in this movie with Jim Carrey. That was literally all 13 of the fun facts.
Is everybody who participated in this movie okay?
Okay, so here's my question. 1, who wrote this and why? 2, who literally read the pilot or like the screenplay or whatever and greenlit it, and then once it was like filmed and done and someone watched it and they said, yeah, this is great, every single person who had anything to do with this movie needs to be in jail.
I agree.
It's
Sign our petition.
it's really bad.
This is the worst movie.
You know that lady
It's
that
bad
has
and it's problematic.
that lady that has the Disney, what is it? The petition to bring Flick back to the parks. That's me with this movie.
Why'd they take Flick out?
I don't know, but it's like a known thing in like the Diz Twitter community. This like person has a petition that's been going on for like 5 years to bring Flick back to the parks.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
their
worried about her.
Only personality. Like they have a whole Twitter account.
That checks out.
Yeah. That's me with
That's
getting
a
this
Disney
movie.
adult.
That's me with getting this movie burned.
When people say Disney adult, that's who I'm thinking
Correct.
of.
Yeah. Yes.
Not us.
No.
We're different.
Yeah, we're adults who like Disney. We are not Disney adults.
You can call me a Disney adult. I'm unoffended by it. Anyway, this movie did have the OG castle opening though, because
It
it's like a
did.
90s Disney movie. So that was nice. And that's about the only good part of this movie.
Yeah, it should have stopped there.
Yeah, we should have turned it off right after that. So we see a man running in the rain. He's an escaped prisoner. He's got his prison suit on.
I said he's in jail clothes.
Yeah,
Because I couldn't think of like jumpsuit.
jail clothes.
So I just said jail clothes. We should have known right then. Just turn it off.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he gets to a warehouse and he opens up the floor and he grabs a briefcase full of money. Cut to a little boy. His name's Preston.
Mm-hmm.
He is talking to his fish about his brothers who are using his room as their warehouse for their t-shirt business?
Yeah,
Question mark.
I don't know what it is. It's called Hand and Foot.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just saw them bringing like boxes full of like merch. So I guess they have a business. They're selling something. They're Ralph and Damien. They're not really important. They are abusive though.
What's important is the fact that Preston is like, they have their own bedrooms. And not only do I not have my own bedroom, but I'm now having to share my bedroom with their business. Like, hello. He was like, how is this fair? And Dad is like, well, they're making money so they can do whatever they want.
And then Preston makes his computer say, Ralph and Damien sleep butt to face. And then it says butt to face over and over. So it's just saying butt to face, butt to face, butt to face.
Yeah. And then the dad makes a comment about how the only thing that a computer can't do is teach someone how to, and I quote, make love. And then the mom says, well, you should take that course.
Like, this movie is so inappropriate.
That's just the first time that this movie is disgusting.
Yeah. No, that was after butt to face. So I think that's two.
I mean, but that's funny at least. Like the mom telling dad in
Saying
front of
that
her.
Your brother's face is in your other brother's butt.
Yeah, he's like making fun of them. It's not the mom in front of their 3 children telling them that their dad doesn't know how to fuck.
It's giving weird. The family dynamic,
Very strange.
the movie dynamic, Disney. I have questions. Anyway, his brothers punch him really, actually, like pretty hard.
Yeah, and they tell him not to rub it and take it like a man. Apparently that's their like family thing.
God, this movie's so
Because they do it a
bad.
couple times.
Anyway, Preston goes to the fair for some asshole kid's birthday party.
Yeah, what the fuck is this part? Like he goes to the fair. It's like a actually it was
seems
a
like a
Six
theme
Flags.
park.
It was a Six
Oh,
Flags.
okay. It was giving fair at first.
Yeah,
Because there's
and-
tickets involved.
Yeah, and this kid, it's his birthday party. His name is Butch.
I have a question about Butch. He calls him Presto the Pesto.
Yeah.
I would like to understand, how does that mean? What
I don't know.
does it mean?
I think it's just him just not calling him by his actual name and thinking it's funny.
The Pesto.
Yeah.
Does he not know what pesto is?
No, the kid is like 11. I sincerely doubt he
What
knows
does it mean?
It sincerely doesn't mean anything.
If you're going to bully somebody, do it right.
Yeah. But so anyway, Butch is having a birthday party. They've like bought out Six Flags. I don't know. He has like a sign with his name on it at the entrance. Like that's hello.
Must be nice to be rich.
But everyone still has to pay for the tokens to get on the rides, even though this kid like bought out the park or whatever. So you have to like how much money you have is how many tokens you get. And like the birthday boy has like $50 from his parents for his birthday. Another kid has like $26. Preston has $6. So he gets 6 tokens.
And he can't ride like any of the good rides.
Yeah. All the big rides were like 7 or 8 tokens each. So like he literally can't even ride any big rides. So he wastes his tokens on like the merry-go-round.
I just wouldn't ride anything.
That's what I'm saying.
I would have kept my $6.
Yeah. And bought like a delicious hot dog or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I would not, be riding the fucking merry-go-round, watching all the other kids ride the big rides. And then when he gets home, he asks his parents at dinner if they're broke because everyone else had like money and he didn't.
It makes me so sad.
And then,
Preston.
the parents say like, no, like they're fine. And then he says, well, I feel poverty stricken. Like this 11-year-old used the term poverty stricken.
And then Preston says he just wants money to kill off his brothers. But like, I'm there for that though.
No, he like fully says he's going to hire a hitman to kill his brothers.
Yeah.
Dad is like
Things are fine in this house.
Yeah, Dad's
Everything's
like
fine.
kind of an asshole about it. Like I get teaching your children like responsibility and teaching them like how to save money and whatever, but the way he like talks to Preston and the way he treats the brothers is so different. Like first of all, this kid is literally 11 years old.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, they have jobs. Well, they're also both like 15, 16 and he's 11. And Preston's like, well, what if I got a job? It's awful.
Anyway, Preston, his birthday's coming up on Friday and he gets a check from his grandma, but she forgot to fill in the amount. And so Preston's like, what the fuck? I can't even use this check. And his dad explains to him, no, you can use it. You just have to fill in the amount. And Preston's like, great, I'm putting $1 million on there. And the dad's like, no, what did she give you last year? And Preston says $10. So dad does inflation in his mind.
Yeah, to $11.
To $11. So Preston gets an $11 check from his grandma for his birthday.
Like not even $20. $11.
I feel I would have been impressed by $11. And what did this movie come out? 94?
1994?
Yeah.
I guess.
You could have gotten some nice tings.
If you say so.
You could have gotten a Barbie doll.
I guess, yeah. In 94, yeah.
Barbies were like $5.99.
Well, Preston doesn't want $11.
No.
He wants $1 million.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the prisoner man guy.
I wrote jail man. I
Okay.
don't know why my brain was not working typing my notes.
Great. And he's in a suit now. He got a suit and he goes into the bank and he cuts the phone cord in the office of the head banker man.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the man take his stolen money and he like threatens the life of his family and shit.
Okay, like, is it counterfeit? Because like he said all the bills were consecutive.
He stole the money and so like the FBI is like looking for those serial numbers.
Oh, okay.
So that they can like track him.
Got you.
So he basically wants to trade money. So he's going to give the stolen money to the banker dude.
So they could just disperse it
to just
randomly.
put it in the bank. And then he wants another milli.
Okay.
I don't know why they couldn't have like done that there in that moment.
Yeah, I don't.
Or maybe the banker dude had to get the milli.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, the banker man's name is Bitterman, and he's gonna get the milli for Carl Quigley, who is the jail man. And Quigley is going to send a man named Juice to collect the funds for the milli.
So we got back to Preston. He goes to the same bank. Wow.
Wow, amazing. Also, this bank, I'm sorry, I'm really kind of glad that I go to like a credit union. This bank was scary. If I had to go to that bank for anything, I would be so intimidated. I would never go to the bank.
Yeah, it was a really fancy bank.
It was big and there was a lot of people and I was stressed looking at it.
It had like marble floors.
I already hate going to the bank. I would never go there.
So anyway, Preston gets in line at the counter and he sees like a really pretty lady at the counter and he goes up to her and he asks if he can open an account. And she informs him that the minimum balance for an account is $200 and he only has $11. Also, that's crazy. $200 minimum?
So close.
I think I opened my bank account with like $10.
No, there's a minimum.
Yeah, I think it was like $10. I don't think I had $200.
Oh, I think it's $5 because that's how much you always have in your savings. Like you have to have $5 in your savings.
Yeah, what kind of fucking bank is this?
Like I said, this was a big ass bank. We have a credit union. It's way better.
So. FBA Federal was like, we'll pay you to open a bank account.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, so then like hot banker lady is like, when you get that 200, come see me. My name is Shay. And she's like weirdly flirting with this 11-year-old.
Not in like a like funny like, oh, this 11-year-old thinks I'm pretty kind of way. Like she's like
genuinely flirting with him.
It's disturbing.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. The ship is going down.
Oh, God.
We're crashing this Titanic.
I wish they would have crashed it sooner, respectfully.
I agree. So what? Preston leaves the bank. He's on his bike and some kid named Butch. Is it the same kid?
Yes.
All right, great.
Hello.
The bully kid, he snatches his $11 check on his bike and then a bike chase ensues.
Yeah, until freaking Preston gets like hit by a car.
Yeah, and guess whose car it is?
Is it Quigley?
Yeah, it's the bad guy escaped prisoner, dude.
Amazing.
Quigley gets out of the car and he's yelling at Preston, basically saying it's like his fault. But I mean, also like, yeah, why ain't he just like in the street, boy?
He's chasing his $11. That's all he has to his name.
And then Butch is there and he's like, you should sue that old man. And then like people start to gather, like witnesses are like gawking at this scene of the crime.
This man shaking this 11-year-old while his bike is literally underneath his car.
So then the bad guy gets nervous because he hears like cop sirens in the background. So he just writes Preston a blank check and says, give this to your dad. He'll know what to do with it. And then he gets in his car and he leaves because he skedats because he's scared.
Yeah.
Because he's an escaped criminal.
So Preston gets home. His dad yells at him for his bike getting run over.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
His parents are mad that he got hit by a car.
Literally.
They're like, how dare you let somebody hit your bike and break your bike? And you don't even care about your valuables.
They literally ground him for literally not caring about his valuables when he got hit by a car.
An 11-year-old was just hit by a car.
And they're like, you don't respect the things that you've earned, so you're grounded.
Here's my theory. Preston died when he got hit by the car, and this is all
A fever dream? He's in a coma?
This is his coma.
I actually prefer that theory to this being real.
Yeah, me too.
Because honestly, everything that happens in this is kind of crazy. It's like an 11-year-old's imagination.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that theory. I like that.
So anyways, Preston is in his room and he's, just being all sad about life and whatnot, like what I do every night. And he decides that he's going to cash the blank check for $1 million.
Yeah, he types it up on his little Mac computer, his like old school Mac computer, and prints out like the words on the check.
Yeah, like Preston, you're not poor. You have a computer in 94.
Yeah, honestly. And it was a Macintosh.
Get over it.
It's pretty good.
Anyway, so yeah, Preston decides he's going to cash the check for $1 million. And I looked up the inflation. Don't worry, I got you guys. It's basically double now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like 2 million basically.
So if he would have like saved it, he would have been set. But he doesn't do that.
He's 11. So.
Yeah.
So Preston goes to the bank and he gets the old lady teller instead of Shay. And he's like really bummed out about it because he's madly in love with Shay.
And also the old lady's a fucking bitch.
Yeah. She thinks he's being a prankster. So she takes him to the head banker dude. And what's his name? Bitterman?
Bitterman.
I didn't write a single name down. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie at all. The head boss banker dude, he thinks that Preston is juice.
Well, yeah, because the check is written by Carl Quigley.
Yeah.
And it's from the checkbook that Bitterman gave him.
Yeah.
And then so Bitterman looks at Preston and he's like, would you like some juice? And then Preston's like, no, I'm good. I'm not thirsty.
Yeah.
So he thinks it's like the code word.
Right. So Preston fills his backpack full of the cash, the whole milli in a backpack, and then he leaves.
What the fuck?
And then the real juice comes. He's like a gangbanger dude with like no chill.
I love him, respectfully.
Eh.
Okay, just kidding.
He says some things that I'm like, okay, Juice, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, if he kept his mouth closed.
Yeah, he did make me laugh a couple times. He really was like, the only like redeeming character in this movie, the gangbanger.
But he was also very sexist, so also not. So Juice walks up again to the old lady and he's like, I have a check for $1 million. And she's like, of course you do. Go see Bitterman. So Juice starts to walk towards Bitterman's office and he checks out a lady's ass and says some like nasty shit about her ass and then runs into Preston. I mean, like literally physically runs into Preston, and Preston drops his backpack, which is full of the $1 million. And Juice just hands the backpack back to him and walks into Betterman's office. And Betterman is like, can I help you? And Juice is like, yeah, I'm Juice. I was sent here by Quigley. And Betterman is like, I'm sorry, what? Who are you? And he realizes that the 11-year-old with the beat up backpack was not, in fact, the contact coming to pick up the milli.
Yeah. So they chase Preston, but he gets away because, he's 11.
Yeah, he hauled ass out of that bank. He's like, I got away with it. Holy shit.
So then we cut to the bad guy. What's his name? Quigley?
Quigley. Mm-hmm.
He's trying to buy like this weird house castle.
That's like 4 houses down from Preston's family's house.
Yeah, it's like a castle.
Literally like
but
a
it's
castle.
Like in the suburbs. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's going for like, what was it? Like 150,000.
Yeah.
Isn't that so crazy?
Yeah.
That house is probably worth like $1 million now.
Correct.
That's so weird. The owners are there, the realtor's there, and the bad guy's there. He is trying to get the owners to sell it for $150. Preston calls the realtor because he sees the listing online, and he offers her more with the computer robot voice, not his 11-year-old voice, obviously. And then they're kind of like having a bidding war over the phone, and then the bad guy IRL at the house. Eventually, they settle on 300 G's for this fucking house. And the realtor asks what his name is, and Preston says Mr. Macintosh because he has a Macintosh computer. And the bad guy is like, this house ain't worth 300 fucking grand. Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Honestly, it is though.
Yeah.
Like it was a literal castle
like
in the
a
middle of
legit
this suburb.
Castle. This is when the bad guy caresses the realtor's face. Like, this movie's just like, it's nasty.
Yeah, there's so many like sexual things in this movie that just really did not need to happen.
Like, why did he grab her face like that?
Like, the premise of the movie itself isn't problematic. It's all the like weird comments and like sexualized sayings and things that happened that make this movie gross.
I don't understand why he had to like grab her face like that.
Yeah, it was
giving
much.
like Scarface. I was like, what the fuck are we watching? Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird. Whoever made this movie is probably a serial killer now.
They definitely are.
And then the bad guy, he and Juice are at the bank yelling at the banker, being like, WTF, bro, where's the $1 million?
I like that you don't know anyone's name except Juice.
I only know Juice's name. And then the bad guy, Quigley. See, I know his name.
Yeah.
He realizes what happens. He realizes that he's like, how could anybody get a check with my name? And then he's like, oh, fuck yeah, I gave that 11-year-old a check. That's right.
And that kid wrote $1 million on it.
So now they all realize that the little kid with the backpack has the $1 million.
Yeah, so they need to catch Preston, and their idea is to look up kid things in the newspaper.
And I quote from the banker, things where kids go.
Yeah.
In the newspaper.
Mm-hmm. That's literally what they do.
What?
I don't know.
That's just not a thing. Anyway.
I mean, maybe in the 90s it was, but yeah, even still, like, why is that how you're going to catch this child?
Yeah. Anyway, Shay's a spy. She's in a van. She's a spy.
She's
Moving
part of
on.
the FBI.
Fuck this movie. I don't care. Shay's a spy. Then we cut to Preston. His parents are going out on a date. Hopefully they don't come back. And then Preston sneaks out of the house. He's called a limo service. Henry is the limo driver. Henry's a fucking weirdo.
I'm glad you wrote down his name because I did not. His is the name I didn't use once in this whole movie.
He's disgusting. He's a fucking weirdo. They go to the mall. They're best friends now. Henry asks who this Mr. McIntosh is, and Preston is like, he's just an old man who wants to do kid stuff. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. Fucking weird.
Okay, I will say
it's a weird movie.
That I think that Preston was very smart in coming up with an adult that whose money it is, because like no one's gonna believe that an 11-year-old has $1 million.
He had no choice.
Like that was smart. Like when I was 11, I would not have thought, let me come up with a adult persona for me to have an excuse to have all this money that I'm spending. Like my brain would not have thought of that.
Also, it just wouldn't fly. Nobody would be like, oh, okay. Yeah, 11-year-old assistant for Mr. McIntosh. True. That would never happen. Henry is driving Preston home in the limo, and they see Shay jogging down the road, of course. Henry, like, sexually harasses her. I don't remember what the fuck he says.
Yeah, okay, I do. So she says, she's, like, jogging, and Preston's like, oh, like, I can give you a ride. And she's like, no, like, I need to, like, work on my body. And then Henry says, not from where I'm sitting.
Oh, yeah, she says, I'm out of shape.
That's what it was.
Meanwhile, Shay's 135 pounds soaking wet, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
Yeah, she definitely needs to get it together.
Yeah, and Henry
like, what the fuck?
Is like, yeah, she looks really fucking fine from where I'm at. Like, ew, bye.
Anyways,
please.
It's gross. Preston says he's going to see her at the bank tomorrow because he's going to open up a bank account. And she's like, great, see you then.
Yeah.
So back at the castle mansion, there's like a go-kart track. There's a pool slide that comes out of the house. There's like a bunch of construction going on. I don't know. They're bringing in like furniture,
there was a whole
games,
truck of just Oreos,
a basketball court,
literally a full truck of just Oreos.
We are fully over $1 million at this point.
No, by the time that this kid has spent like all the upgrades to this already castle, first of all, the castle was already $300,000 cash that he bought this house for, and now he only has $700,000. He went on a fucking shopping spree the night before. That kid spent a lot of money the night before with fucking Henry. Yeah. He's renting this limo for days at a time. Yeah, that's not
he's
cheap.
Like way over $1 million.
Like at this point, barring all the renovations to this house, he is already close to $1 million. I can guarantee it. It's just too much for my brain.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Preston's dad drives by Mr. McIntosh's mansion and is like, what the fuck is going on? And Preston's like, oh yeah, I work for this old man now who wants to put a bunch of toys in his house. Anyways, Dad, have a great day. Bye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is Dad gonna say? He told him that he had to get a fucking job at 11 years old.
Your son just told you he's working for a man who is putting toys in his house. Hello?
I didn't even think of that.
Oh, that's fine, son. Okay, see you later.
Enjoy working for the neighborhood pedophile.
Yeah, legit.
The whole day, the limo driver is hanging out with Preston again. I get that he's being paid, but also it's weird. Like they're like playing like human bowling. Like you are the bowling ball. They have like a giant like rock'em sock'em. Like
It was too much for me. I couldn't look at the TV.
there was a point where like they had like rock climbing. There was like a wall of Velcro and you were like are the Velcro like on a suit and you have to jump and like throw yourself in the wall. There was a lot going on. It's weird that the limo driver is just hanging out with this fucking child.
Anyway, Preston's hanging out in the pool, you know, vibing. And Shay comes over to the house, just walks in the backyard.
Yeah, she just fully walks into the backyard.
It's fine.
That's okay.
She's there to see a Mr. McIntosh, but he's not there because, you know, he's not real. And then she asks Preston if he wants to open an account still because she brought the paperwork for him. So he goes and he gets the $200 for her and fills out the paperwork so he can open up his account.
Okay, no. First of all, he says he's going to go get the 200, runs inside, goes down through the slide from the house into the pool and hands her a sopping wet $200.
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting. As someone who worked in Frontierland and when people would hand me their sopping wet money after they got off of freaking Splash Mountain, it's disgusting.
Preston says that Mr. McIntosh is a very busy man, but he is willing to have dinner with Shay so that he can discuss his finances with her. That's fucking weird. And Shay says, oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, Preston's like, I know all of his details as an 11-year-old, so I will meet up with you to tell you everything. And you know what Shay says? It's a date.
I am not kidding. This woman is sizing this 11-year-old this whole movie. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, so Preston is asking the limo driver for like advice. The limo driver says, I'm a babe magnet. And then you know what he does? Period. Period. He like
really
sticks
does.
his tongue out. I had to rewind it because I was like, he did not just do that.
Henry, like with peace and love, it's incel behavior, bro. Like, like I'm not trying to be a bitch, but like Henry.
Oh no.
Henry Bestie.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be self-aware. Let's have self-reflection. No woman has ever looked at you and wanted to be with you.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that like Drew on TikTok would just show a photo of him and laugh. That would be all you would need. Anyway, so
this is not a reflection of the actor, although he did agree to be in this movie. So I'm concerned about anybody who has any part in this movie. But like, Henry, shut up.
Yeah, with peace and love.
Also, you're giving an 11-year-old advice to go on a date with like a 30-year-old woman.
That was what I was about to say. So like, obviously at this point, Preston was like, hey, I'm going on a date with this lady. But like,
no one's
at
concerned.
this point, was like the limo driver aware that it was a grown woman? Like, obviously when they picked her up, at that point, he was aware.
No, because they saw her jogging. He fully knew.
Oh, yeah. So he was probably like, you remember that hot babe we saw running?
It's so creepy.
But yeah, so he's giving Preston dating advice. And then there's another weird montage of more of their like antics with all the
Getting
shit that
ready for
Preston
the date.
bought and everything. Preston's at dinner with his family and he's in like a full suit. And their family's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I have to work tonight with Mr. McIntosh. And his dad is like, well, you're actually still grounded and you can't go anywhere.
Not that an 11-year-old can't work at fucking 9 p.m. on a Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, but because he's
normal.
grounded.
Because he's grounded.
Yeah,
That's why.
So then Preston, I was so confused at this point. I guess his dad has like a business plan, a monetary plan. I don't know.
Cares?
Plan 442.
Yeah.
And so like Preston, like honestly, this kid is pretty smart. He like mumbles under his breath and he's like, so much for plan 442. And the dad's like, what about my plan? And Preston was like, well, I was going to show it to Mr. McIntosh because I think it's so great. And even the mom is like, oh my God, I'll go get it. And they allow him to go work because he's going to show him the plan. And dad's like, well, let me meet Mr. McIntosh. And Preston's like, no, I'm going to go bye. And then he just goes. Preston goes on an actual literal date with Shay. They're at a very fancy restaurant. She's dressed really nice for going out with an 11-year-old. And she's just trying to get information on McIntosh because at this point she thinks that McIntosh is the one who is money laundering. And then Preston is asking Shay some very personal questions about her love life. And she's like, I don't know if I should tell you these things. And then he gives her like a diamond necklace, which in itself was more expensive than like what he had at this point.
Yeah, Preston's like asking her the heights of all her exes or whatever. And she tells him that these are like personal questions. And I'm like, the word you're looking for is inappropriate.
Yeah, he's like,
He's
what's
11.
the youngest person you've ever dated?
Shay,
And she doesn't find it weird.
is you okay?
Yeah, so then Preston falls off the chair and some shit happens. So they're like, let's go get burgers instead of like eating at this fancy restaurant. So they go and get burgers. And then Preston's like, oh my God, you want to see something so fun? And they run through like a bunch of like water fountains, but they're like grabbing at each other and like running around. And
It's like a romantic comedy scene, but like with an 11-year-old and a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah, it was disturbing.
And they're like laughing and she's like, she's soaking wet and her dress is like clinging to her and she's like, oh my God, Preston, I haven't had this much fun in forever.
Like literally.
Like I'm not fucking around. How is this movie existing?
I don't know. So while they're fucking around in the fountains, Bitterman, Juice, and Quigley are walking by the park that Shay and Preston are like fucking around in the fountains, and they see Preston and they're like, oh my God, that's the little boy from the bank. And they go to run after him. Preston sees Bitterman and is like, oh shit. And like he like convinces Shay to like race to the limo. So they run away from them and then they get away. And then the ride in the limo is so uncomfortable.
This is where I was like, turn this shit off.
Like
I
Shay
did not even want to finish this movie.
quite literally looks this literal child up and down and is like leaning in towards him, and they're like having a conversation, and Preston's like, oh, like when can I see you again? And Shay is like, I don't know, like that's a great question. Like it's so weird. And then Preston says it Mr. McIntosh is having a birthday party on Friday and invites Shay, and she's like, oh my God, like I cannot wait. That's so exciting. And then they just drop her off on the side of the street.
So the next day, Preston makes his brothers work for Mr. McIntosh doing yard work and like cleaning up the house or whatever for the party. And then the party planner comes. She's too much. She's got to go. She's just annoying as fuck.
Yeah. And then she quite literally just takes $10,000 out of his backpack.
Yeah. She robs Preston.
Yeah. Like she just grabs it and she's like, this is my deposit, but just like goes into his backpack and takes it, the money.
Yeah. And then Preston asks Henry, the limo driver, to hang out. And Henry's like, no, I actually have friends and a life. So I'm going to go to the bar like a normal person.
Hang out with my adult friends and not the 11-year-old I've been hanging out with for a week.
Yeah. And then Preston is like, damn, I really got no friends. So he goes to the park to sulk, I guess, on his bike or like buy friends. I don't know.
Buy friends.
And then the bad guys find Preston at the park. They start chasing him in a car. Juice gets out of the car and is chasing Preston on foot.
Yeah, there's a lot happening here.
He falls into a pond. He gets back into the car. Juice throws up in the car. Don't know why that happens.
I don't know.
Sure. He just throws up in the car. The chase continues. The bad guys crash their car.
Mm-hmm.
Preston gets away. The end. No, I'm kidding. There's more, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
They get the other kid. What's his name?
Butch.
They get Butch and they're like, Butch, tell us where this kid Preston lives. And he's like, I ain't no rat or something along those lines.
Even though he bullies him, like.
Then these three grown men hold this 11-year-old over the edge of a building.
Like a skyscraper.
Like the mob.
Yeah. They literally hold him over the edge of a roof of a literal skyscraper.
They're like, show us where he lives. And Butch is like, okay, because he doesn't want to die, you know?
Yeah.
Back at the castle mansion, Mr. McIntosh's mansion, the party is getting set up. And the brothers, I don't remember their names, Ralph and Damien. Ralph and Damien.
Sure.
They are telling Preston that Shay is a gold digger and she doesn't actually care about Mr. McIntosh, just his money.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't care about Preston. She just cares about the money.
Right. And Preston is like getting big mad because he's like, no, that old lady loves me.
We're in love. We went on a very fancy, cute date.
It's uncomfortable
for
everybody involved. Henry is helping Preston get ready. He's like his freaking valet now, I guess. There's a weird conversation about skinning cats that I don't ever want to hear again.
Yeah, this part was just, I don't even know what was happening.
Henry was like deep talking about like ways to skin a cat, but he was like going into detail.
Yeah.
Please don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
Just know that it's uncomfortable and you don't need to see it. Like he was letting his intrusive thoughts win. And like I just want to know how this movie got made.
Respectfully, I don't know.
So bad.
I don't know. So they go out and the party is in full swing and Preston keeps looking for Shay. Shay's in the FBI van talking about their plan, which is if they can't find Macintosh, that she's going to kidnap Preston. Limo driver is like, hey man, like let's have fun, stop looking for your lady, like let's have a good time. Preston gets presented with the bill for the party from the crazy party planner, and do you know how much it is? Not including the $10,000 deposit that she stole from him. It's $100,000. So he goes into Mr. McIntosh's office where he has like a computer,
giant computer,
where he just has like typed out everything he's bought, which I guess is kind of smart. At least he's like keeping track of shit. But he did a bad job because he only has $300 left.
So he can't pay the party planner. So then he's sitting in the big chair facing the computer and his dad walks in. So his back is to the door and his dad is like, oh, are you Mr. McIntosh? You don't have to say anything. I just want to talk. And he basically says how like he's too hard on Preston or whatever. And he's proud of him. But like, he's not. He treats his son like shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Shut up, Dad.
Yeah. And then
it was supposed to be like a sentimental moment, but it was just like not.
Weird. And then like, yeah, like the fact that Macintosh, quote unquote, doesn't say anything, like that's not weird or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, so like, I know it's your birthday party, but it's also Preston's birthday today. Weird. So if you could send him home so we could all like go out for Preston's birthday, like together, that would be really cool. And then he just like leaves. And Preston's just in the chair crying. So Preston goes to run after his dad. I don't know. His dad must like be like Batman or something. He just like disappeared out of fucking nowhere. Like how he got out of that house so fast, I will never understand, because he literally went out directly after him. Dad is already gone. And then Preston notices that the white limo that limo driver drives is not there. And so he asks like another guy like at a car. He's like, hey, where'd my limo driver go? And he's like, oh, that guy, he left. And so Preston's like, well, great. My family isn't here on my birthday and they hate me. And now my limo driver, who's my only friend, also isn't here and he hates me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sad and lonely. And now I'm also broke.
So Preston's at the party and Shay finally shows up. And Preston's like, who are you here to see, me or Mr. McIntosh?
Mind you, he's sitting on the floor in the office sobbing.
Yeah. And she's like, both?
No, she says Macintosh first, and then she's like, but you too, I guess.
So Preston runs off because he's like, fuck it, everything sucks. The party planner is like, where's my money, child? And he's like, I don't have it.
Yeah, he's like, good luck finding Mr. McIntosh for your money.
Yeah, because he knows he's not
he
real.
doesn't exist.
So the party planner cancels the party because Mr. McIntosh can't pay the bill. So everybody leaves.
Okay, but like also all these people bought Mr. McIntosh birthday presents, but like what did they buy him? Because one, no one knows who he is. Or did they buy Preston birthday presents?
I have no idea, dude. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because they all grab their presents and then leave.
Anyways, the bad guys have Butch and they break into Preston's real house and then nobody's there.
Yeah.
Because they're all at Mr. McIntosh's house.
No, they were out at dinner for Preston's birthday without Preston.
That's right.
They literally still went out to dinner even though Preston was like not there for his own birthday.
Yeah, and then nobody's there. So the bad guys are like, where the fuck is he? And Butch is like, well, everybody's at Mr. McIntosh's mansion party.
Yeah, man.
And then Quigley realizes that Mr. McIntosh is the guy that outbid him for the house. And he's starting to put it together that that's his like persona, his adult persona.
Yeah, for real.
So then the bad guys go bust into that house, the Castle Mansion house. They find Preston. Preston tells them that McIntosh is actually him and that he spent $1 million in 6 days.
In 6 days.
And the bad guys they're talking and they decide, well, this is perfect because Mr. Quigley can just take over the identity
Of
of Macintosh and start a new life. But they just have to kill Preston first.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah,
Probably Butch too. Let's be real.
Yeah. Like Preston knows everything, so he can't live. But Preston's already fucking booked it, bro.
Yeah.
He got out. He runs off and he hides in the backyard. He shuts all the lights off in the backyard so that the bad guys can't find him. All three of the bad guys split up to look for Preston. Biederman just goes and eats some cake, which respect. But then he chases him into the house and Preston puts like what is that called? I couldn't think of the word for it either.
VR?
Yeah, like I literally wrote like the specific Oculus and I was like, Oculus is a 2020 thing. Like
VR headset.
Yes, he puts on like this really extravagant VR headset onto Bitterman, freaks him the fuck out with like some scary ass video, and then he passes out. Then he just like hangs him from the ceiling from this like weird ass chair that he has. Preston tricks Juice into going into like the batting cages. He like sets up like a dummy in there so it looks like he's in there. And then he just throws a bunch of baseballs from inside the house at Juice.
It was like Home Alone for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they kind of did steal that from them. But then Quigley finds Preston and gives chase to the backyard where Preston starts like hiding under like the tables and shit while Quigley's flipping them over trying to find him. Preston eventually knocks Quigley into like one of those human-sized balls for the human bowling.
It's like, yeah, one of the human bowling balls.
Yeah.
Where you like sit in it, but it's like a cage and you like buckle yourself in.
Yeah, so he like locks him into that and then Preston gets in one of his go-karts and just rolls Quigley around for like 10 minutes.
And then knocks him into the pool.
Yeah, like he's just going to fully drown him.
I was like, oh, he gonna drown. But he gets out. But he's like floating on top of the water. Looks like he drowned.
Yeah, he's dead.
So Preston goes to check on him and he grabs him and it was scary.
Yeah, but then Shay and the FBI show up and
Shay is the FBI.
Oh, yeah. Shay is the FBI.
Shay should be arresting herself.
That's what I'm saying. And they're like, okay, who is Macintosh? And like no one says anything at first. And then Quigley is like, I'm Macintosh. Get the fuck off my property.
Say that?
I don't think he realized because I mean, if he says he's himself,
FBI be looking for somebody though.
They're looking for. He thinks that they're looking for Quigley, who is an escaped felon. So he's thinks
gonna
if
get
he
arrested
took over,
either way.
He didn't know that.
The FBI's pointing guns at you and looking for you, and you're gonna be like, "It's me."
Okay, yeah. So he says that he is Macintosh, and they all get arrested. And then Preston is like, "Shay, was our date fake? Like, what the hell?" And she says it started out that way. To this 11-year-old.
Shay, arrest yourself. You're going to jail.
Yeah, and then she says to call her in 10 years, and he says they like debate it until it's down to 6, so he'll still be 17 years old.
No, they landed on 7.
No, it was 6. I wrote down 6.
I have 7.
I wrote down 6.
Because she said 10 and he said 5 and she said 7.
And then he said 6. Either way, it's still not legal. Sorry. And then
yes, it is. He'd be 18.
Anyway.
That's why they landed on 7.
Anyway, she kisses this fucking 11-year-old.
On the mouth.
On the mouth. Like she leans into him and like not just like kisses him.
Like they kiss on the mouth. Like a romantic kiss on the mouth.
Illegal. Disgusting.
Who? Why? Who? What? Why?
I don't know. I hate it.
Why did you make me watch this?
I'm sorry. So then Preston is in the house still lit, and his dad shows up and he sees like all like the cop cars and the FBI and everything. He's like, what the fuck? My kid is in there. Goes in to like grab his child from this house. And Preston's just like, yeah, I'll tell you another day about what happened. Dad doesn't even care.
No fucks given.
No. They see limo driver on the way out. He went to go get Preston ice cream.
Who cares?
Yeah. Okay, great. And then Preston goes into his room at his house and his mom and brothers are there with a cake and a new bicycle. And they're like, happy birthday, even though we went to dinner without you. That's the movie. That's it.
I don't even want to put this on my list. I don't even want this tainting the list of my tragical movies. I thought nothing could get worse than One Magic Christmas where the lady like watched her husband die and then her children drowned and then she didn't care. This is worse than that.
Is that your final?
Yes. I give this movie a -10.
Oh my
I'm
God.
making up numbers out here.
Wow.
It's literally so vile. I wish it didn't exist. It's fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just vile. This movie shouldn't be banned.
I love that. Yeah, I gave it a 0 out of 10. It's the last one on my list.
Mine's like on a separate list. Mine's like, it's like an whatchamacallit. It's like a secondary item at the bottom of my list.
Damn, bro.
So fucking, like, this movie should not be allowed.
Yeah, it's foul.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I haven't seen this movie, like, I don't think, like, since.
Nobody should watch this. Do not give this movie airtime.
Pretty bad.
It's a horrible.
It's, like, weirdly sexist and then, like, very sexual at the same time. For like no reason.
It's literally a rom-com between an 11-year-old and a 30-year-old woman.
Fully grown woman, yeah.
Why is this existing on this planet?
Yeah, I really do have questions for whoever wrote
like, are
this
you
movie.
Good?
No, they are clearly not good.
Anyway, you ready to hear the next?
I'm so excited. Yes.
Well, we clearly need a palate cleanser because that was fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to surprise you, Kat.
Okay.
I picked a musical.
What?
This actually probably gives it away because I only like 3 musicals. So, and there's a lot of hats and child labor.
Hats and child labor. I feel like whenever I guess, every brain cell I have is just leaving my brain. I don't know. Hat?
It came out in 92, the year you were born.
Newsies?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My next hint was Batman's in it.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Then you definitely would have gotten it.
I was like, hats. Hats.
And child labor.
Okay. Yes.
I'm so excited. God, we need some music after that.
I'm so shocked that you would pick a musical, but also, yeah, you really only do like 4 musicals.
Yeah, and we've done Annie and now Newsies, so we're done.
And Teen Beach Movie.
Yeah, I guess that's definitely a musical.
High School Musical too.
Yeah, we've done all 4.
That's it.
Of the ones I like. So now we don't have to do anymore. Yay!
Oh my God, yay.
I know, I'm excited.
What a good one.
Anyways, everything is linked on our website now, which is linked in the show notes. That's where all the fun facts are. That's where the link to our Patreon is. I feel like we never talk about the Patreon movies anymore. There's, okay, I'll say one and then you say one. Ready?
Okay.
Beetlejuice.
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That was a good one.
That was a really good one.
Shit was
also
funny.
Barb and Star.
When we did Dinosaur, but we just dubbed it.
That's true.
That shit was good.
Harry Potter's 1 through 6. We should finish that off. Probably.
Yeah. We should probably do that pretty soon. We did Spirited Away.
Oh, I loved that movie.
Yeah, Melissa had never seen it.
Pigs and the dead people and the exploding ghost thing.
Yeah, man.
And the thing that was like,
no face.
I loved that movie. That was great.
So good.
Trolls.
Twister, which I've seen.
Twister.
That they're coming out with a second one. I don't know how accurate that is, but I keep seeing it. So
Shrek.
Yeah, we've done Shrek.
2?
Yeah. We've done Sweeney Todd.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That was a good one. Scooby Doo.
Oh my gosh, Scooby Doo. That was such a good one.
We also do like pilots for like some of the like Disney Channel shows and cartoons and stuff. We do some like fun videos on like rides.
We've done like Disney movie icons.
Some legends.
We did a Q&A once. We
did.
should do another one. It's been a while.
I know it has been a while.
We tried to guess all 50 states one time.
I literally was talking about that the other day because for my job, I'm in a lot of like different time zones all the time. And I'm constantly Googling literally like this city and state time zone now while I'm talking to people because I don't know what time anything is or what time zone anyone is in. So I know California. They're 3 hours behind us. That is quite literally the only one I know.
I know that Oregon and Washington are above California.
It's more than I know. I know Washington is up there. It
spells cow.
Okay.
Now you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. Kat is sorry.
Yeah. I'm so
Apologize.
sorry. this is Kat, and I am very sorry for this movie existing and then making us watch it.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You made us do One Tragic Christmas, so
This was worse.
This was in retaliation.
Pedophilia is worse than watching your husband die and your children
dying,
your children drowning in a
not
tragic
having
car
a reaction,
drowned by the man who shot your husband. This was worse than that.
I will agree with you. I do in fact agree with you on that.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
These opinions are our own and are no way associated with the film or the film's production company.
The Tragical podcast cover art is created by Johnny the Alchemist.
The Tragical intro was produced by Ja Reezy.
Links to our social media and Patreon can be found on our website, located in the show notes.
Thanks for listening
to Tragical.
Tragical.